Now, let's talk about some ways in which you can collaborate with your social studies or history department. Now, being in a time where the value of arts education is constantly being questioned and the importance of including the arts in our school's curriculum, I think it's been helpful for me to allow my administrators and other shareholders to not only see that I am developing theater artists or individuals who will have a greater appreciation for the arts, but I'm also instrumental in improving students' academic success and helping to improve their learning experience on a whole. So it's been very beneficial for me and an enjoyable experience in working with other teachers in my building. This helps to not only build a sense of community, it also helps me to build relationships and to create a support system of other teachers in my building that may also be very instrumental and helpful when working on projects or productions within my school. So, here are some opportunities to collaborate, just a few project and activity ideas. So, you may work with your history teacher to put on a Black History program or Black History show at your school. Currently, I am working with a history teacher at my school, and we will be presenting our Black History program at the end of the month. I worked very closely with her to identify a theme or a topic for this year's Black History program. She outlines the events that's happening in that particular time period and gives me a rough draft of the script. I use my creative liberty to find ways to dramatize the ideas or the events that's mentioned in the script. And I'm responsible for directing the students. So I'm working as a choreographer for the dances. I am helping students with different acting scenes or whether they're performing poetry, as well as helping students create the scenic design for our performance. This might be something that you do with other history teachers in your building. And this does not have to be just with Black history. You could do this for Hispanic Heritage Month or to create performances that are inspired by historical events. You may work with your history department to write historically inspired scripts. So let's say in class they are discussing the effects of the civil rights movement, and you, based on the conversation and what they're learning in that class, they can use those events to inspire scripts that they're writing in your class. You may even select a play that is heavily based on historical events and have the students do research on those events and use that to inform them and the acting, the scene design, the costume design, and so on and so forth. You may also have your students work on a human timeline project. So this is where they outline historical events that's happened throughout history and how we've evolved, whether politically or socially, and they can create different performances to represent that. You may also have them work on a wax museum project, and this is where the students will select a historical figure. They may dress up as this person, they may act as this individual for an entire class period, or you could make this an event where parents and students within the school, they're invited. You may have this presentation to be done in your auditorium or in your school's cafeteria or whatever open performance space that you may have. And the audience members, the visitors, are able to come to each booth where each character is, and they get to interact with this historical figure. You may even have your students work on writing character monologues. These monologues can be based on a character in history, or even if it is a fictional character, identifying this person, historical background, the time period that they're from, and using that information to dictate the words, the accent, the topic of the conversation, how the characters within the monologue relate to the listener. So you may have them also write poems or letters from a point of view of a character in history. You may also have your students do historical research for plays performed or read in class and specifically talk about the historical and the social context of that play and how the playwright, their choices, and the structure of the play really brings that to life within the script. So again, collaborating with your history teacher, you are teaching those specific theater standards. You are meeting your specific theater objectives. You're just using the material that they're learning in their history class, or using the content or topics they're learning in their history class to inspire what you're doing in your class. And in the end, you are supporting the learning in that content area. You are building relationships with the other teacher, and the students are understanding the relevancy of what they're learning in both classes. And you can take it a step further to not only teach the theater or the social study standards or objectives, but helping them to understand how this can be used to enhance their learning overall, or how it relates to real world experiences, and allowing them to build deeper conversations and to develop a deeper understanding of the material. Thank you.